Tell me what attracted you to this movie?
Well, to be honest, it's a really funny story. The timing when they contacted me, they had seen my YouTube videos.
Uh-huh.
And I was just kind of doing skits and monologues, and I was practicing to do stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And they had seen my videos and had started commenting on them, and about a year later they contacted me. And at the time, I didn't really want to go to Texas. It didn't fit into my plan. And they said, we've been thinking about you for the lead, we think you could carry the film. And I said, well, I'll meet with you, but in my mind I thought, I'm not going to take it. And then I met them and immediately liked Daniel and Rania right away. Very intelligent, very grounded, and I liked the story. It was weird and it's right up my alley. And so, yeah, that's what attracted me to it, was just that they had an original idea that I thought was cool.
Now, you yourself, this is, you've never been an actress before. This is your first film. How was that as an experience for yourself?
Well, I've been acting since I was a child.
Uh-huh.
I went to a theater high school, an art school, and majored in theater, and I have been doing live performance and dance and singing and rapping, and so I've been on camera and on stage for a long time. But yeah, it was my first film. But it's always something that's felt natural to me. I've always felt really comfortable in front of the camera, and I love being on either side of the camera. I love filming and taking pictures, and I also love to be filmed and have my picture taken. And I think it's only been in the past couple years that I've accepted that that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm an egoist, or it doesn't mean that I'm it's not so much that I want the spotlight on me as I want to shine a light back. And I like the effect of the match between me and the camera. So, yeah.
Don't you find how can you say, it's a little bit ironic that you, being an actress, trying to be in a movie, and this is about a movie about an actress trying to be in a movie?
It's very ironic, and it's almost scary. And I have to make peace with myself in the sense that I know who I am, and what I do has integrity. And it's not that the girl in the role didn't have integrity, but I feel like she's disconnected from reality. Yeah. And a hard part about doing the role was that they used a lot of things from my real life. For example, the fairy cards. I do the fairy cards.
Oh, really?
All the time, and I didn't want to spoof that, because to me it's sacred. It's not a joke. But I don't blog about it. I'm not doing it in the way she's doing. So I thought that it was okay to show somebody who is sort of delusional. And I had Javier, our sound guy, who's not here, and I wish that he was here, but he helped me stay grounded by saying things to me like, when a scene was difficult to do, he'd say, it's not you, Sarah, you're acting this. But it was so parallel to real life in some ways that it was like, I would never do that, and that makes me feel uncomfortable. And yeah, it is bizarre, but it's helping me release my fears by helping me get comfortable with who I am. And I know that isn't me, and yet it was also hilarious. I mean, the first 10 minutes of the film, I cried laughing, and I didn't realize that I was going to find it so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that, so yeah.
Now, the videos that they actually showed in the movie of you doing your facial exercises and all this kind of stuff, that wasn't your YouTube videos, right?
No. One of them is, and the one that is 5 years ago, my life was in shambles, which to me, that is me. I thought that was hilarious, because it's like, the style of YouTube videos I do is if I see something that I think is funny and I spoof it, or I do some hyperbole on things that are kind of weird. And, so Yeah, no, I never do those those kinds of exercises, and I don't know. She's kind. The idea is kind of spoofing something that people do, but I don't think it's not to make fun of it so much as to just show when people are so self-absorbed or so kind of absorbed in what they're doing that they don't see the ridiculousness of it.
Mm-hmm. Do you still have this YouTube channel of yours?
I do, yeah. Yeah, and I want to go back, when I go back home now, is start putting more videos up, because when I started the channel, I was living in Vancouver and I was extremely bored. There was not much of an art scene that I was connected to there. I'd started doing stand-up, but I was feeling like a creative, I need to do something.
Yeah.
And there's not an outlet for me here. And I lived by myself in this little apartment, and so I just turned on the laptop and started doing these videos every day. Mm-hmm. And it's a real different experience than doing a film, because I'm looking at myself when I do it, and I'm really curating it and involved in what I post and what I don't post. And so relinquishing control to someone else it's a different experience. But I want to keep doing more videos on this YouTube channel. People tend to like it.
What is the YouTube channel's name?
It's White Feather Lion. All one word.
White Feather Lion.
Yeah, and when I made it, I didn't think, maybe choose a name that is easier for people to remember.
Yeah.
I mean, my email is Feather Guide, and that's easier to remember. But at the time, a lot of the names I chose were taken. So White Feather Lion wasn't taken.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Oh, terrific. But, after I publish this interview, I'm sure people are going to have to check it out, and you're going to get more hits or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I need to do more to... I'm not a super internet savvy person. Like, I didn't know how to make it. I know there's ways to make things go viral. Mm-hmm. But for me, this is also confirmation of when you're grounded in what you love and you do what you love, you don't need 1 million followers. All it takes is one person. Mm-hmm. One person to see it and get it, and that's what Randy and Daniel did. They saw it, they got it, and they thought, this is kind of, I am an actor. They usually work with non-actors. Yeah. But they thought, I'm natural, like my improvisational style was similar to a non-actor, so that I'd be able to do it. And it's just so wonderful to see them again. They're just such great people, and I really like the work that they do.
Yeah, you had your world premiere here at the LA Film Festival. What was it? It was on Friday.
It was on Friday.
And from my understanding, there was a lot of cheering outside, but maybe
for the cup.
Yeah, for the cup.
Well, yeah.
But of course, there was going to be cheering inside the theater. How was that reaction?
Well, a lot of people were laughing, and I didn't realize that it was going to be funny in parts. That when I filmed it, I didn't know that it was going to be funny like that. And I heard people laughing, and it was funny to hear strangers laughing, that was cool. It was surreal. It's surreal to see it. I know a lot of actors don't watch themselves. Mm-hmm. And so I was a little bit nervous to see what the result was going to be. But I liked it. I thought it was cool. I liked the idea. I can disconnect from the character. I don't need to be... I don't need to identify so much with it. The whole concept of not watching yourself, I think, is weird. Yeah. It's like you don't need to identify so deeply. I guess a lot of actors do really identify with themselves. This is who I am. And I don't know. To me, I also filmed that 2 years ago, and I'm different now than I was 10 minutes ago. I mean, I feel like we always grow and evolve, and the purpose for me when I act is to reflect to people the human condition and give people insight into, when you first see someone, but then when you go through a process with them, your judgment you don't judge them as much because you're experiencing something with them, and hopefully the viewer can have an awakening, or maybe it'll help them develop some insight into human nature. And so that was that is what I think is cool about being an actor or doing any kind of role.
Did you learn, the entire point of the movie was to learn something about the Mex-Tex culture. Did you personally learn something yourself since you're from Canada?
Yeah, oh God, I mean, it was, Del Rio itself is weird. It's, I mean, as Lino's character, the cowboy, says, it's not a place that you would expect to end up. It's like a ghost town. What I saw was that all the little mom and pop shops had kind of closed down, and there was a big Walmart and a big Chili's and all these cute little quaint places looked all shuttered, and
Yeah.
what made the city, I think, interesting, or the town interesting, had turned into like a ghost town. So that was bizarre. I mean, but it was also really cool to spend time there. I never would have ended up there otherwise.
Okay, and do you have any future projects for yourself personally that you're going to be working on?
Hopefully. I mean, right now I don't know. I don't have an agent, and I write. So the thing with YouTube and also comedy is anything that I perform, I write it myself and perform it myself. And I've always kind of been doing a bunch of different things. I guess this is sort of inspiring me to focus more just on this so that I can manifest something from it, as opposed to being a little bit more, I teach language, I translate,
Yeah.
I've taught kids in the performing arts, so I've always been doing a lot of different things. And the thing with something like this is it's sort of like a little window, and this whole festival has taught me that my writing ability is it's the bird in my hand, that I can go back to Montreal and write more skits for my channel. I can write a one-woman show and keep in touch with the contacts I have, and ideally do another film. But I've also learned that I don't want to do just any kind of thing. I want to do things that tell a story of a character in a way that, like I said, that moves people, and sort of a David Lynch style. On the surface it's this sort of sheen, but then behind it there's something dark, or there's something hidden that gets revealed. And I want to do powerful stories that affect people. And I've learned that I can maybe go back and write that story and then just do it.
That sounds awesome. And anyway, so my last question, because I actually saw it during the critics screening, and right at the end one of the critics yelled out, said, "Well, where's the real horror movie?" And I asked the directors if someday they would like to make that actual horror movie. Would you love to come back and make
For Return? The scenes we did for Return of the Phantom Guards, I don't know if I've laughed, so it's so ridiculous. There's a scene where I'm in a wig and the two cloaked figures come behind me and I knock them out, and it's the most ridiculous thing. It was hard to not cry laughing doing that, and I would absolutely love to. I think that it's cloaked characters and rollerblades, and the whole thing is so bizarre. I love that kind of thing. That's the kind of comedy. I don't know. It's similar to kind of like Zoolander. It's hyperbole. It's spoofing something, and I love that. So, I think that'd be hilarious.
Terrific. Hey, I enjoyed this interview. Hey, thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the rest of the festival.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.